Pops, wholesale used car prices have been crashing and continue to crash, and probably the biggest impact for consumers is actually on their trade-in. Retail prices have come down, but not nearly enough. We have another week's worth of data from Black Book. We'll continue to review that week over week, but I think the bigger picture here, Dad, trade-in values are down significantly, and the retail values, like, they're down, but they're not down nearly as much. We have a couple examples that we'll walk through.
If this was a race, okay, and one is a sprinter and the other is a long distance runner.
Okay.
Your trade-in is the sprinter, and that's going down faster than retail prices from the long distance runner.
Yeah, I wonder why. All right, Dad, let's kick things off with the Black Book
data. They
data.
like it that way.
Yeah, because the dealers are still looking for people to buy their overpriced inventory.
Yes.
Black Book data, Dad.
Yes,
Couple
sir.
storylines here. We have another 9/10 of a point decline week over week in wholesale values. This is above what's normal for this time of year, almost double what this time of year typically has. And as you can see on the chart, Dad, we are at month number 3 or 4 of consistent, significant declines in wholesale values week over week. That is something that at this point we can't deny. It's the reality of the situation. Even if Cox Automotive wants to say wholesale values are going back up, they're not. Wholesale values continue to fall.
The wholesale values on 2 to 8 year old cars continue to drop. And some of that could be because of the quality of the cars that are being offered for sale at the wholesale auctions has continued to drop, so that dealers aren't willing to overpay for these vehicles as they had been in the past. And the other reason, realistically, is because demand has shrunk, and dealers don't feel as if they can afford to overpay anymore.
Now, we have, Dad, a slow time of year coming up.
Yes.
Thanksgiving to Christmas and the New Year, typically a slow time, and Black Book has noted that here in their wholesale wrap-up at the bottom of their report. We've seen the lowest sales rate, though. It dropped to 51% week over week. That means 1 out of 2 cars are actually selling that go to the dealer auctions.
Yes.
That is still a huge issue because it means that people are sitting on inventory that they expect to sell for a certain price, and it's not going at that rate at the auction. Eventually, they're either going to have to lower the price or they send it back to the retail storefront to sell it there. So as long as sales rates stay low, eventually that, I'm going to call it mini bubble, that little bubble has to burst eventually. Those cars have to get sold.
They're either going to get sold at a retail level at a loss, or at a reduced price from what they had been asking for, or they're going to get sold at the wholesale level for a loss. Either way, they're going to get sold.
The big important piece of the report here, quote, overall, the wholesale market has not changed much and is still following the downward trend. So that's from our friends over at Black Book. Now, what does this mean for you? So, Dad, we did a little bit of research. We've got 2 vehicles that we're going to run this experiment with, but let's remind everyone that you can do this too. Whether you actually have a vehicle to trade in or you're thinking about buying a car now between now and the end of the year, you can do exactly what we're about to walk you through to help understand if it's a fair price or not.
Absolutely.
All right, so we found a 2013 Toyota 4Runner for sale out in Arizona. It's got 106,000 miles on the vehicle, and it is listed, Dad, for $25,890. Now, when we look at the price history, we can see that it has come down a little bit. They originally listed it for sale at $26,665 and now down to $25,890. Pretty new vehicle on the market, only been there for 18 days.
Exactly. Nothing says thanks quite like going to joinyaa.com and typing in thanks20 to get 20% off on your YAA Plus membership, or thanks 100 to save $100 on your vehicle service contract.
So what did we do? We plugged that information in over on the Sell Your Car feature on joinyaa.com. And why did we do that?
To get an idea as to what a dealer might pay for that car if it was, well, my car and I wanted to trade it in.
Boom, exactly. So how can we get a sense for what the actual wholesale value is of a 2013 Toyota 4Runner? The best thing we can possibly do, we can look at trade-in values and things like that, but the best thing we can do is see who's the highest bidder to actually pay for it. And it looks like that Echo Park, check in hand, could sell it today if we actually had this vehicle. This offer expires in 7 days or 500 miles. They'll pay $21,000 for this vehicle.
And the next closest is a Car Guru's offer, and that is almost $3,000 less.
And then Vroom is down there at $17,000,
which would indicate to me that its real wholesale value is somewhere between 18 and 21. And obviously, the fact that Echo Park would pay 21 is what I would use as the negotiating tool.
Oh, if you were actually trading in this vehicle, of course you would use
Yes.
the highest number as your leverage to try and get
Yes.
either the dealership where you're buying a new car and trading it in to come up, or that's who you'd sell to.
But what I'm saying is I would take these numbers and I would go to
Oh, you're saying to buy this,
yes.
to actually buy this.
And I would say, well, the true value of this is probably somewhere between 18,000 and 21,000 based on these offers. How much closer to, say, the 21,000 can we get on that selling?
This is the disparity between wholesale values and retail values. Again, the trade-in values reflect the wholesale price.
Yes.
The retail value is obviously what this dealer, Audi of Chandler, is asking for, the $25,890. So you would walk in there and you'd say, hey, you're asking $25,890. Out the door is going to be somewhere around $28,000, $29,000. I know the wholesale value of this vehicle is 18 to 20. So why don't we do an out the door of 25,000? And they're probably going to say, no, of course not. And then you walk away and you come back and you watch Deal School 3.0 to learn how to negotiate. But that is the disparity there, Dad. It's like a $6,000 difference between wholesale and retail on a $25,000 vehicle. That's huge.
Yes. Or you ask me to call my friend that's a sales manager there.
That's the other option. All right, the other one
it's not really an option. I'm not calling Lou.
The other one that we did, Dad, was a 2020 Toyota Camry. Also
Yes.
been on the dealer's lot for a short period of time at Wright Toyota, 19 days. $28,365 asking price. And Dad, this dealership has come down significantly. They originally listed it for sale at a ridiculous $32,635 more than
Yes.
what the vehicle's original MSRP was. We did the
Yes.
same exact thing there, Dad. We plugged it over in joinyaa.com/sell and we saw what the offers would be. And again, Echo Park is the highest, $27,701. Car Guru's $24,473, and then Offer A, who knows who that is? We'd have to actually click through to see it, $22,090. So this one's not as far off. The asking price for this one again, Dad, was $28,365.
Based on Echo Park's offer.
Echo Park's nuts, is what it seems like.
Based on their offer, that what Wright Toyota's asking is very, very reasonable.
So long as that out the door isn't filled with crap.
Based on Car Guru's number, it's still a relatively reasonable asking price. But I would take those two numbers and I would add them together and I would divide by two and say to the dealer, how much closer can we get to? I understand I have to pay retail. I don't want to pay inflated retail. So you can actually use this as leverage for when you're negotiating to try and get a better price on that used vehicle.
Pops, you used to run dealerships for a long, long time, and people would come in frequently on their trade-in and use the CarMax offer that they had as leverage. Now, thanks to all these online dealers, and heck, Echo Park is part of Sonic Automotive, if I'm not mistaken. So like even the bricks and mortar dealerships, they have these online real-time cash offers.
Yes.
How would you respond to someone who came in and tried to do that on this Camry? Like, would you budge at all, or how would you react?
Well, I'd have to budge a little bit. It's how much are you going to budge? And the beauty with Echo Park is that they can ship that to any of their dealers, in their network, and I can't because I have this facility right here. This is where I can sell the car from. So that's how I would try to work and have the customer work with me on the fact that, this is very localized. Maybe I can save you a few dollars. What would it take other than?
But as a customer, this is good leverage.
Oh, absolutely it is. Yeah. The more information you can bring to the dealership with you to justify your offer on the vehicle, the better off you are, because literally dealerships will do the same thing. They will go into a V-Auto and they will pull up competitive models, and they will explain to you why this is our asking price compared to what's going on in the marketplace. So they use the same information to justify their pricing. You can use this information to justify why you want a discount from that pricing.
And obviously, if you are actually going to sell a vehicle or trade it in, use the joinyaa.com/sell functionality, like get the highest amount for your trade-in or sell it outside the dealership. Please take advantage of that. And it is worth mentioning, we recently updated the negotiability score algorithm on joinyaa.com when you run your market price report. So when you save a vehicle and you can run a market price report and view the essentially our version of V-Auto for you, we update the negotiability score algorithm to reflect what's happening in the markets right now, how things are more negotiable. So please take advantage of that. And I got to remind everyone, Dad, everything we just went through, these research tools in your toolbox,
free.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Free, everybody. Free.